And here we are with happy news. This is Porky and Coco, and Coco has laid a third egg, and she's sitting on it. Didn't crack. I've had this problem with this hen before. She literally has eaten 3 cuttle bones. I just put a new one in there, and she starts eating it. She eats them to the point where her poo turns white because she's eaten so much of it. But somehow the eggs are too soft. So this is now this is the stuff that I use to up her blood calcium level, and it's formulated so that it is immediately available to them for making eggs. There are downsides to this though. Calcium is a serious nutrient. It can cause lack of it can cause deformities and death. Too much of it can cause heart failures and death. So you have to be careful with this stuff. The very first time I used it on this hen because last time, she laid and her first egg was too soft. And I ended up giving it to her every day, thinking that I was, propping her up, because usually calcium doesn't get into their systems that fast. It takes a while to build up. So this hen ended up, by the time she laid her 6th egg, I was like, she needs to stop. So I stopped giving her the calcium, but she ended up laying 8 eggs, which is way too many, and clearly because she had too much calcium. The other thing is that her and several other hens that I'd been giving it to were too restless to then sit on their eggs. They had to wait. They'd sit in the box and go in and out and that kind of thing, but they didn't start sitting on their eggs until a delayed period. One delayed 2 full weeks before she started incubating those eggs. So you have to be careful with this stuff. So what I'm doing this time is, this is her third, I just gave this to her yesterday. So this is her 2nd day. I'll probably give it to her for 4 days. By then she'll have laid a 2nd egg, and then I'll stop, figuring that she'll probably lay another couple of eggs. And then all the excess calcium will fade away, and she won't do that restless, unable to set thing. So, but anyway, Porky and Coco, 1 viable egg, and Coco's in there sitting on it now. Yay! This is Razzle, and he is a happy daddy of another egg. Lilith laid her first egg today too, and it's solid and whole, and she's sitting on it without a hitch. Kelly is up to her, yesterday she had her 3rd egg. It may be yesterday or the day before, so she may be headed for her 4th one here pretty soon. She and Sparky are getting along like 2 bugs in a rug, and all is good in that little world. I've really been surprised about Fluffy here, kind of fading. Her cere is now tan. I don't know. Let's see if we can get close enough for you to see it. It's tan. She was one of the hens in Big Flight Cage that had a brown crusty cere for a month before I put her in here. And I put her in here, and slowly but surely her cere turned to white. Now it's tan, but one of the things that was going on here is I bought a nest box that turned out to be a lovebird nest box. They're the same dimensions on the front side, but the hole is bigger, and the back end of the nest box sticks out an extra 2 or 3 inches. So it finally dawned on me, what if the reason she's going off this is because she doesn't like that nest box? So I have some other ones, so I put a little nest box on here. And this is something that I've really noticed with these birds is, people talk about, oh, they need a bigger nest box because they're bigger than regular parakeets. But what I'm finding is, consistently, they like the little boxes better. And there could be a whole lot of different reasons for that instinctually, like the fact that the hole is the right size, it's the right depth, and it could be just that it's smaller, it's easier to hold body heat into it. So anyway, she's got a new nest, and she apparently likes it because it's been on there for 10 minutes, and she's already running in and out of it and flapping her wings, so that's good. Marine up here has an egg bump. I'm so excited. So that she could still be a week out. Egg bumps appear for it's a while before they actually get around to laying an egg. but I have high hopes. This is Jester and Sky, who have disappeared into that nest box quite a bit, and I've been seeing them mating. Rainbow here, Sear, has started to turn brown again. It had turned white as well, and now it's turning brown again, I think because we got rain and the weather cooled off. Dusty and Gidget up here, Gidget developed a tail bounce, and I'm just going to treat her in place. I'm still putting out fires on the medication front. At this point, I have a couple of birds inside that I've given them everything that I had, and their diarrhea persisted anyway. It would get better with antibiotics, and then it would come back again the minute I stopped. So now I'm like, all right, I've tried everything. Now it's time for the Megabac, in case they have a yeast infection, which they would get from all of the medications they've been on. So I'm trying that with them, and we'll see what happens. I'm also trying that on Rocky here, because he's dumped a bunch of weight. And although he looks lively, the fact is, I don't think he and Random are breeding. They're bonding. They're kissy-kissy. You see him talking to her. But I don't think they're breeding. And one of the reasons I don't think they're breeding is because when a hen's getting ready to lay an egg, she starts having really big poos. And all of the poos in this cage are normal bird size. So I don't think they've been mating. And obviously he's been through a lot of medications as well, and he's an older bird. So I'm putting him on the Megabac to see if that will clear him, because he's had everything else. So, and also I'm keeping him on electrolytes because he dumped a bunch of weight. He gained a few grams back, but it's not enough, you know, so we'll see what happens with him. This little girl, look at Buster. It's the first time I've seen him do that. I have only ever seen her in this cage, coming out of this nest box once or twice. It's one of my larger nest boxes, and she is a tiny little bird. So maybe she just doesn't like it because it's big? I don't know. I'm going to give Fluffy a couple of days and see if changing the nest box makes a difference with her. And if it does, then I'll try putting a smaller box on this girl's cage, because she is one of the smallest hens I have. She's in the 40s as far as her weight goes. 40 grams even is the upper end of what a regular parakeet weighs. So she's obviously, I'm not breeding her for size. I'm breeding her for that mask, the feathering, the Texas clear body trait, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens with these two. But I see him going, come on, baby, let's look in the box here. But I've seen her come blasting out of it a few times, but she doesn't spend a lot of time in there. So that's the breeding update. Little Sparky up there. Going to be a happy daddy again. At least for some of the eggs. Okay, that's it for the breeding update for today.